Gun-free zones were created back in the 90s. It was a law proposed by then Senator Joseph Biden. He's now the Vice President of the United States. And it was signed into law by then President George H.W. Bush. And what the law says is that you cannot bring a firearm onto the real property of a school. Can't have it there at all. Now, as Coloradans that have CCWs, you can bring a firearm into the parking lot of a school if you're going to go pick up your child or run into the school for something, but the gun has to remain in the car and it has to stay locked in the car. Now, since this law was signed into effect, the gun-free zones, I would submit to you that in the years since then, the law has been read, at least interpreted, especially by the public, to be a lot more expansive, and it's going to include other areas. Other state and federal buildings, private buildings like office buildings that have signs on them that say no firearms, private homes or private property that say no firearms. I would submit to you that those would be interpreted as, in today's reading, modern reading of gun-free zones, sort of to be encompassed in it. Not a strict reading of it, but the way that the public is at least viewing gun-free zones, you should be thinking of it in that same way. So what do you do? Like I said, if you have a CCW and you've got to go into a school area, you can drive into the school parking lot if you have a CCW. If you don't have a CCW, you're going to have to park on the street or on a nearby street and walk up. Kind of the way you would have to do if you were going to go to a post office. Even with a CCW, you cannot bring your firearm onto the property of a post office, even in the parking lot. But these are things that we have to do and accommodate ourselves to in order to carry concealed or be the armed and informed citizen. Now, there are certain places that are, I would almost suggest to you it's a hybrid scenario where it's a gun-free zone sometimes and maybe sometimes it's not. And a church is a great example of this. Sometimes folks call me and they want to become part of a security team at their church and they want some advice on that. And so where this becomes a little bit dangerous and you're navigating in a minefield is if you're going to have your gun during a service of a church and at the same time at the service there's a school, like a Sunday school that's in session, that could be interpreted as a gun-free zone. And so as a Colorado CCW holder, there are ways that you can make yourself legal and become part of a security team, but that really requires the assistance of an attorney. Good thing for you, U.S. Law Shield members, you've got an attorney that's right there ready to help you answer the questions, but you got to pick up the phone and call me because every single situation is a little bit different. So if you fall into one of those categories and you want some help, don't hesitate to contact U.S. Law Shield. They'll put you in touch with me, and we can make sure that you are carrying lawfully and without any problems. We don't want you to get sideways with the law at all.